My question was, if you're we're a railroad employee, and myself, I was a railroad police officer, and I was wondering, would I fall under that category if I had a claim?
Okay.
The short answer is yes. That one I can get.
And you were saying basically all those, there's so many different workers when it comes to the railroad,
Sure.
different jobs.
The railroad refers to them as crafts, and there are engineers that operate the trains. There are trainmen that deal with the switching of the cars. There are carmen who make sure that the cars are in good maintenance. There are maintenance of way who take care of the track. There's a whole shop that takes care of all the engines and locomotives, and it's an incredible, vibrant industry. And if you think about it, who's regarded as the most astute investor in the world has just chosen to basically bet his ranch on railroads. Warren Buffett bought UP. Because he thought this was the way to spend money in the future, because it's such an incredible industry and a vibrant industry for the future.
Do you have to be part of the railroad industry for so long to be covered, or is it pretty much immediately upon employment?
Once you are an employee, you are covered.
Okay.
And even certain contractors who may be performing work under subcontracts with the railroad would also be covered.
John, what's the numbers nationwide on how many railroad workers there are out there these days?
Well, you're looking at about 212,000.
Wow. And you know, Tiffany, John and I worked on a case together that I think you actually covered, the Lincoln train crash case.
Right.
And it involved, John was talking about the various crafts in the railroad. It involved several segments of the railroad. That case involved the signal system, which controls the way trains move from one point to another. It involved the railroad workers that we represented in that accident. It was a horrendous accident.
Can you fill us in on what what happened in the case? Is it closed now at this point?
Yeah, John, I guess we can talk a little bit about that. What we ultimately learned...
Because a lot of people, if you're watching, to kind of get you up to speed, this was several years ago. Two trains collided there in Lincoln, huge ordeal, shut down a lot of... some residents were blocked in their homes because there was believed to be toxic fumes in the air, huge plume. I know if you're watching Fox 6, the station had aerial shots. We had live team coverage for, several weeks following up on that story. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, there was an evacuation of an area down there. And what we believe ultimately happened, the way the signal that controlled the train movement from one section of the track to another, what we ultimately believed happened is the signal was set up in a way that when the afternoon sun shined directly on it, it looked as if the wrong element was illuminated. And I think that was proven through testing. And it led to just a horrible accident, and we were so fortunate no one lost their life in that accident. But I think those trains, one train was stopped and the other one, I think, hit it at over 50 miles an hour, John.
Yeah, trains are so dependent upon the signal system that they employ, because it's kind of basic, but you have to think about it. Trains can't turn. They're on the tracks. And so their movements have to be controlled on the rail. And the signal system and the ability of folks to rely upon that signal system is so important to the safe train operations.